mix, you know what I'm talking about? That lettuce, that lettuce. Gotta get it. Gotta get it. That lettuce, that lettuce, focused all on the check, yeah, all I want is lettuce, yeah, just give me the lettuce, yeah, just give me the lettuce.
Lettuce heads, welcome back to Please Let Us Golf, the podcast. Today you got Goldie and Golfberg getting up early from the PNW. Hello, Mr. Golfberg. And joining us in just a moment, we're going to be bringing on our first guest of 2026. Before we do that, Mr. Golfberg, how are we doing today?
I think this is the most tired I've ever been in my entire life.
You seem struggling. You got on here basically as the guest got on. What do we
You
do?
can't cancel breakfast to start a pod.
Yeah, well,
Can they do this in corporate America?
It's not that early there. Come on, man. I know you're getting the kids ready and everything, but come on, just get
I'm
a grab and
I'm
go.
single dad this week, so I got a lot of responsibilities.
Woe is you. Well, look, again, the data says we got to get to it quicker. So let's quit. Let's quit with the pleasantries and get to our guest of the day.
We don't want to hear more about my parenting.
No more about your kids. No one cares. But man, I've been excited to talk to this guy for a while, and a part is because, look, we're a little bit in the scam adjacent business in the world of golf. So last year, we ended up going through, through 15 episodes where we dove into scams in the world of golf. Of course, for legal reasons, we use the word scam as satire, right? But we were just diving in things that, we might think's overrated, maybe some things that are being pushed to you, things that aren't necessarily cost conscious.
Mm-hmm.
We love to do it. But this guy, man, he's on a whole nother level, right? He's entertaining, he's thorough, possibly a little bit insane. I think he's truly doing God's work out there, calling out some of the biggest manipulators, aka sandbagging rats of the handicap system, and it's impacting your local clubs, your tournaments, and of course the member guest scene. So let's not bury the lead. Let us heads. We're going straight to the gin. Please welcome to the podcast golf's #1 investigative journalist, Mr. Yip Strickler.
Goldie Golfberg, thanks for having me. By far the best intro I've ever had. This is probably my 318th podcast I've done in the last year. That was the best intro.
Well, yeah.
Not every day when you're on with the mayor of golf.
Yes, the mayor of golf. And when we throw those things out there, that we had the fastest growing golf podcast of 2025, people go, you're making it up, you're bullshitting. It's like, just go to the data. It's Apple and Spotify. We bring the goods. We started as a nothing burger, and now we're here, and we try to just have a good time, man. So, but thank you for real. I know you're busy. I know you've been making the rounds. We're going to have a good time today. We're going to get in a little context, some hot takes. We got from the Cabbage Patch, the Lettuce Heads. They got a lot of questions for Yip. But I want to start with one little serious note. I've heard you say a few times that you don't think, you're like, I'm not making a dent in the net golf scene, the scumbaggery, the sandbagging rats. But I got to say, there's not a month that goes by now where I don't get in one of my group golf text threads. I don't get a text that says like, we're sending this to Yip. We're going to get Yip on your ass. So at a minimum, you have officially entered the golf lexicon in the vernacular side of it. But I really think you're making an impact to the rats out there. I think they're a little more conscious of it. And also just keep putting pressure on those tournament operators to just be a little bit better. I got some thoughts on that, maybe Barstool adjacent. But yeah, so good on you, man. So keep it up for us. So for context, those uninitiated to the background of Yip, the story, why are you so passionate of getting after these rats? So give us a little bit on that.
Well, I mean, it's just it doesn't matter what prestigious private golfing club you belong to. They have guys. Every single club has those guys that everybody talks about in the locker room or, walking up and down the cart pass as they pass them up. Yep. Well, we know he's going to be in the money this day. It's like the same guys over and over and over. How do they do it? Well, it's pretty difficult to do if you're maintaining an accurate handicap, but these guys are just professionals. They are managing these handicaps every single day. And I've just had enough. I've I haven't won a significant golf tournament at my own prestigious private golfing club since 2019. I would like to add, it's a problem. It's these PGA golf professionals. They have this job where, they're managing all these tournaments, they're managing these pro shops, and the biggest thing, they're spending way too much of their time dealing with people complaining about the sandbagging rats. It's an awful conversation for them to have to somebody that, throws $30,000 every single year to their whatever club they belong to. It's tough to just say, hey, just so you know, thank you so much for your 30 grand, but we think you're a cheater and we're going to knock you down 3 shots for every event the rest of the year. So I do feel like there was a need in the golf world for someone like myself to just kind of weasel in, help these golf pros. I'll take the heat. This way they don't have to. And, that's pretty much why I exist.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of popularity, right, I think a lot of it was, I don't want to understate all the work you do, but I think, was it the 24 Barstool Classic when things kind of really blew up of, I know the story, but you got into rigs a little bit. You got into the tournament committee of, hey, you're running this large scale event and you're kind of saying like, it's a foregone conclusion, or it's obvious data's out there that these guys are let's just rats, right? So what is that, when it really all took off, or was there a whole pre-Yip piece before that of some significant happenings that led you to that Barstool moment?
Yeah, it was middle of summer 2024. I had been, just kind of playing around, trying to see exactly what kind of format I needed to be. Should I be hitting these guys with like 1 minute little pieces where I call someone out? Well, I kind of started out with that, and it just wasn't enough time for me to, get into all the data, especially when it's a certain case where, there's obvious proof that they're manipulating their handicap in some kind of way. And then I was doing some before that. I mean, I had some that were like 8 minutes long. I mean, you got to be really bored at your desk to go through 8 minutes of my, so I, had to, and me not knowing anything about social media, because I wasn't on social media at all until this Yip Strickler character popped up.
You sound like the guys that did Please Let Us Golf with, launching a golf digital media company with 3 guys that don't use it. So
social media is the worst. I mean, we're trying to make it better. That's the truth.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. But here we are.
Yeah,
I'm everyone's always just everywhere I go, my real business, everyone's just doing this all day long. Yeah. So I figure.
Well, what's funny is everyone thinks we're all just screwing around on camera, but you actually have to do a lot of work, it sounds like. I mean, if you're really going to be going through these guys, their histories, where they're playing, does this score make sense? Because Goldie told me a couple, like, people are entering the wrong course consistently. They're putting in fake scores. I mean, are you really trying to literally uncover stuff from people's past so you can kind of bring it up and go, hey, this isn't adding up? You're coming in as a 2, but you could, you're actually +2.
Yeah, social media might not be my favorite, but the internet as a whole is, because these guys don't realize that all their past scores, any of these tournaments that they've participated in, if you do enough digging, you can end up finding them. And it's amazing how many tournaments there are that are out there, just different. I mean, there's like the Bag Tour, USAM Tour. They're all over the country. They have national events every year. Golf Digest has a thing. Obviously, the Barstool. There's these tournaments all over the place, and these guys playing them. And what's shocking to me is that, they're all using Golf Genius to enter the scores. And it's real easy when you're setting up these tournaments. There's just like a little box you check, like, oh, do you want to auto post these scores after? Click it. So all you got to do is click the box. And for some reason, these tournaments, so many don't. So you'll see these guys go and they, shoot the best round they've had in 2 years, and then it never gets posted because the tournament didn't do it. So there's a lot of going back and looking to see if they're, really keeping a legit handicap or not. And talking about like how much time, yes, it's been an embarrassing amount of time.
But you kind of have to, right? Though, because if you're going to take a public stance, it's impactful to that person's life on some level. So I'm assuming you have some litness or some due diligence where you're like, hey, this is this is 100% above board. So I mean, that there has to be a good amount of effort and work that goes into that.
Yeah, and it's really on my end. I try to make sure like when I'm spitting facts, I'm letting the people, and that's the problem is that nowadays, sometimes I might just put a post on the X about some guy that, did something ridiculous. And all I am doing is the facts of, okay, let's just say this 14 handicap shot a 75 at this place, and I'll put it out, and then I'll, put out maybe the odds. And, there's always going to be someone that's coming at me that's like, oh, I don't see that as being a big deal. What are you calling them out for? But I'm like, well, all I did was say the facts of what happened. And sure, of course, I've created this character that goes after sandbagging rats. So now every time I post something, everyone always assumes which is actually kind of good for me because those, I get more engagement, and it's just a big fun game.
You get your network up too, though. It's like, okay, well, this one, it's a little bit of a head scratcher. I'm just going to throw a tweet out there. And then maybe somebody will do some extra digging and it'll give me some supporting info of like, yeah, this is definitely a rat, or they might go, nah, it's not. So yeah, I'm sure that helps a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I do nowadays where I might just mention something about a tournament that's taking place, and it's basically I'm just fishing. It's like my instincts are telling me that there's a rat involved, and I need to figure out exactly who it is, what's happening, and usually the information comes right back to me. So there's a lot. I have a lot of anonymous sources.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. And I went to you a couple times of like, man, I want to give you some information, and this goes into actually probably I'll skip. I'll break our order. There's the first question I had from the lettuce heads is like, aren't you scared, or are you ever scared? And I went to you and said, hey, like, I got some stuff that's going on in like rural Georgia, big money Calcuttas. I would love for you to jump into it, but I can't be associated with it because I literally think like it's a potential death sentence. So does it ever get to that level of like really real anger coming your way?
I've had a few instances, a few phone call, like, well, I'll get a phone call right after and someone will be chewing me out.
How do people get your number?
Yeah.
Apparently everyone has my phone number.
I assume Yip Strickler's not. Because I assume Yip Strickler's not your real name. They can't just look you up in the phone book, right?
Yeah, surprisingly they can.
See, here's the problem. Your real name is Ryan Smith. It's right behind you on the wall. I think.
No. We know that. We know about Ryan Smith and Tommy Padgett back there.
Yep.
But orienting back into quickly on Barstool. So you recently were on the Foreplay pod, and I know the internet's a joke because I think people were expecting some like these big fireworks because you've been in their ass for a couple years, right? But it was a cool conversation. It was normal. I don't know the other two gentlemen well, but Riggs, I did get to spend a day with him about a year ago. He's super, super nice, engaging guy. So it's not like you guys are going to come in there fisticuffs. And they were open-minded about what you do. And I thought it was a pretty good conversation, but I did have one core disagreement. And you kind of you kind of went into it a little more detail after, but I know for them, it's like, you guys aren't doing anything wrong. That's the going into with them. My only counter to them and others is like, if you're running a legit event, we're talking big entry fees, big prizes, like I said earlier, a Calcutta, let alone with them, a national series of events. I think you owe it to the field to do some upfront auditing. I know there's back end stuff they can do, like you said, auto score posting, not just scooping and not putting in a score. But I think you owe it to everybody to go like, hey, if there's yellow or red flags, you're just not in it. Like if you haven't posted scores for some duration of time, a couple year gap, if you got a batch of scores posted that are above your current index that all came in on February 23rd magically. I think things like that, like it's just a level of effort for them. It's not a shot at them, but it's every net event that I've always said everyone goes, well, you can't stop sandbaggers. I agree. That's probably hard to really address, but what you can do is just say, hey, I don't care if there's collateral damage, but we're using the handicap system and I got issues with the handicap system. But if you have improprieties that are obvious, like you're done. You're not coming into the event.
Yeah, I think thinking back to my conversation with the Foreplay guys when I I remember a question like, what can they do? And I think I said pretty much nothing.
Yeah.
And really, I think what I was more getting at is that you have no idea what any of these guys are doing. Okay. These guys are from all over the country. You don't know if they're just pulling up the app and going all willy-nilly, posting scores. You have zero clue if anything's legit. And unfortunately, that's just the way this is. This is I mean, you're on the honor system with this thing, and we know the more money that is involved in any event, there's going to be less honor. So
Yeah.
I think that was more of what I totally agree with you about any company that's running a big golf event. That, I mean, they should do their due diligence. At least, you know, you have to have some kind of guidelines in place for, you know, minimum postings, because there's, in the last few years, I've seen quite a few where if you go to my favorite app in the world, Straight to the Gun, you'll see there's this little slash on the bottom. They'll have their number, and below is just a slash for the low handicap indexes. And that's because they haven't established a handicap index yet. So they don't have a low. And there's quite a few of those gentlemen that seem to win events throughout the country. Like, that's kind of something like, you know, if you don't have 20 scores posted, like, I mean, playing net golf, what are we doing here?
Yeah, and I think what's happening is people are starting to get wise to just not putting in fake scores, because it is getting called out more frequently. We've had some stuff at a local club that I'm at. But what they're doing is just getting it to a point and just not posting scores anymore. So I think it's just as bad. Like, okay, you haven't posted a score this year. Like, you're not, we're taking best case scenario. Like, we're taking your index and add, you know, you're going to get X% of it, right? I think that's what, I mean, I see it a lot with good players. So we play with a lot of scratch and pluses, and guys that I know that just carry 2 and 3 handicaps. And I mean, they're +2s and 3s, but they just had one run where they were able to get their index to a 2 or whatever. And they just don't post a score for 3 years, and they get in every tournament and nobody bats an eye. And I'm like, what the fuck? What's the point of this? What are we even doing out here?
Well, that's the like one of the biggest misconceptions is everyone thinks like, you know, these sandbaggers are all going to be like these 15 handicap guys.
Oh.
And the more and more I get into it, like, it's the scratch player, the guy that's a 0.0 exactly, that, you know, somehow fires 67s at, seems like every single time he plays. There's a lot of those guys.
For sure. And it's not always even as evil as people like that who are really working these hardcore Georgia tournaments. It can be kind of innocent. Like, I remember every single time my dad, great guy, ton of integrity, he's a physician, and he saved lives his whole life. Every time he's asked me to play a tournament, he's like, what's your handicap? I'm like, yeah, I'm coming at like a 2.5. He's like, too low. Throw some scores in there. Let's get you up to about a 4.
Yeah.
And then we'll be slotted in perfect to win this member. And I'm like, you know, back in the day, I've definitely done it like 10 years ago, because I kind of just had to, and it just wasn't as, I don't know. But just shit
When
like
was
that
this?
has
10 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I'm scared now.
I'm not going to tell you the state. Yeah. So
But confession time. No, I was gonna even if it depends on how time's running. I have a story that I was involved with not that long ago that's kind of in the world of golf cheating. That I think my hands are clean, but I would be curious to get some objective opinions on. But also just what you said. I've been in the big money Calcutta event. So yep, here's a confession time. So Aaron did one I would play in South Georgia. It wasn't technically an open flight for the championship flight. It wasn't technically allowed to have pros, but there's no auditing. So it was like a who's who of guys that couldn't get into other amateur events would be in this flight. And usually how it would cut was like if your team handicap was like a +2 or 3 or better, you usually got lumped into that. So the first flight was the Sandbagger flight. Everyone made sure you didn't get into that open division, right? But what's funny is I played in that event for 6 years. And 3 of the 6 years, the winner of the overall event came out of still the first flight. Because what it was a bunch of guys that would, what you just said, had 0.0s, but they were legit +2s or 3s, and they had a good week. But I was in that position 5 years ago where we got a call from the club saying, hey, you guys are the last team in the last, and I'm cutting it off tomorrow. Just letting you know. We got the call, and it was like, one of us had to go like 0.4 down on our index, and there was 2 scores, and there was a 68 lingering, and I'm magically a 72 pops in. and then you're in the other flight. And it's like in your brain, you go, well, I'm justified because everyone else would do it. But that's like a very innocent version of something that's happening at scale. So I do want to just truth in lending of like, nobody's perfect out there. Some real scumbaggery going on in golf.
Well, I try to, I understand how it works where, I know for sure there's clubs by me where, you'll talk to guys and it'll just be like, that's the only way you can compete there because it's so bad. They don't have anyone, a real handicap committee or chairman or anyone that's going to, bat an eye at a, net 59 rolling in. So
also, you two are in two of the most competitive amateur golf states in the country by far. By far. Georgia is just full of degenerate maniacs who are way too good at golf, have way too much time on their hands. I think the cost of living's too low. Yeah. Michigan is kind of similar. Michigan's like this oasis in the Midwest with incredibly good golf courses. I think it has the second most golf courses in the country to California. Cheap public golf. The place goes as soon as like the snow thaws. It's like people are on fire to golf for the next 6 months. So it's hella competitive. I was at a club in Grand Rapids where there were 35 golfers that were plus handicaps. And it's like just trying to compete with these dudes. And that's not even obviously the net division, but it's just, I get it. So the more competitive it gets, people are looking for angles. They're looking to,
yeah. And the justification, everyone's doing it. So this goes to my first take. I think the core problem of handicaps is like there's all these things you can't address. I understand. But I just think in golf, they're just taken too literally. And that is a problem. So most of these net events you're covering, it's tough when it's just like everybody's in one big flight. I hate that for a net event of like, I understand it's necessary evil in some, but it's like, okay, when there's guys getting no shots and guys getting 14 and they're competing in a tournament, it's different if you're just doing a bet. Me and Yip are going out there. That's just never going to be close to accurate. But if it's a post-flighted, or I mean a pre-flighted event where, okay, there's 140 guys in the field and it's whatever, 10, 14 teams per flight, and we're flighting on the basis of team handicaps. My perspective is everyone in those flights should always play scratch at that point. So if you're me and Yip, if we're going out there, Yip, I don't know, what's your index? What's your
5.4?
5.4. Me and you, we're going out there. We're a team 5. Okay. And we got screwed because we're lumped in with the 1s to 5s. I just feel like that's just at that point, it's close enough. It's within the margin of error. And then it just becomes impossible for giving the strokes. And I get it for every one of those, it can work on the flip side. So that's one thing I've always just thought of handicaps is like this whole, it's a 2.3, but it's like, where are you at regionally? We know ratings and slopes aren't the most accurate indicator. This weather adjustment thing they try to do doesn't work because people don't put in scores appropriately. So it's just like, I can't, like when I was in going up to this for betting, these guys I play with all the fucking time. Like guys I know that don't put in this. And we went to a travel course. Another club was hosting us. And we got guys in there, they're getting out the app. And I was like, what the fuck are you doing? They were like, well, you're giving us one aside here because we're playing them. I was like, I've played with you every week for 3 years straight. Nobody's given a shot ever. I just like, we're not doing that, guys, just because somebody has or hasn't put a score in. So I'll shut up there for a second. What do you think about maybe handicaps are just taken a little too literally? And that is some of the problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a group of guys that I play with at my club and, we're all, within a few shots of each other. So a lot of times when we play, there's no candy. We're not, going to go, okay, you get one shot on 14. We're not playing any of that. We're just, playing straight up. So I understand that when you're talking about grouping up in flights, I do like where if let's say me, I'm a 5.4, if my partner has to be within 10 shots of me, I can't bring a 25 handicap index to come into our flight who's going to get, 2 shots a hole or whatever. I do like keeping the guys in the flight near each other because otherwise it gets pretty frustrating when you're playing an actual, a member guest wherever, and if you get like, I don't want to be giving a guy 2 shots a hole ever.
Right.
Um,
Well, that should never be. That
until
should
I'm
be
like
banned.
75. When I'm 75, like when we're all 20, I don't care then. But
We had a handicap deep dive, and that was definitely a rule that under no circumstance, it's just you just aren't in the bed at that point. You get 1 shot a hole max, and then after that, we can't really adjust beyond that. But you brought up member guests, so I'm gonna pull. I think a better way. I'm gonna pull the lettuce head questions up as they organically come up. So we know you're all about the member guest, but most of them are 9-hole matches, and we're allocating shots in 9-hole matches. And we had multiple people that just said, we can't be given shots in a 9-hole match. It's just, we flighted it already based on our handicaps. And, I'm, like you said, Yip and his partner are both 5s, and you're playing a 5 and a 12. And that 12 is like not from here. And we know he's pretty decent. And then I'm giving them a shot or 2 in a 9-hole match. It's almost impossible to come back from. So, what are your thoughts on what is the best way to structure the member guest?
Well, I would say that 12 is probably going to hit almost every single fairway. He has an unbelievable short game, and he never 3-putts.
Yeah.
As far as structuring, I've played in just about all of them. I will say the 5 9-hole matches, a very popular format. And I mean, obviously my dedication to the game of net golf and the handicap system, these 5 9-hole matches drive me crazy, especially because now at least these clubs, most of the time they're going to post your scores, but now you're going to get a 9-hole posting and another 9-hole posting on the same day. So now you got 2 scores on the same day. The next day you're going to have the same. I have a big issue with the 9-hole posting system. Once they changed it, it's just not accurate. If they're not going to tell us exactly what if they have a proprietary formula for anything, that's exactly what it is too. They have not released the actual. I've came pretty close because I spent like 9 hours on it one day to try to figure out exactly how they do it, because they basically just make up an expected score based on your handicap index. So you can play great on the front 9. Let's say you're a 10 and you shot 36. Well, now it's just going to automatically assume, oh, well, he's going to fall apart on the back. And so let's give him a 43 and average it out that way. It's nuts.
Yeah. Let's pause on that really quick. The 9-hole scoring, that feels crazy to me. And I sort of get why, because some people only have time for 9 holes. I guess it should contribute to
fuck them. No.
It's just the whole point of golf. It's like it's not a 9-hole game. It's not a 12-hole game. That would be different.
I hate playing 9 holes of golf. I cannot stand playing 9 holes of golf unless it's with Mama Strickler, because that's about all I can take.
Oh, who's Mama? Your real Mama? Or is that your what? Who are we talking about?
That's my wife. My wife's
right on.
Mama
I like
Strickler.
it. I like it. Just wanted to check, because it'd
I
be
do
beautiful
play with
thing
my
if
mother. I do play with my mother on Mother's Day. That's one day a year. That's all I will do.
Well, she's
got a bead counter. She's got a bead counter.
No.
She has like 7 visors on her golf bag. I don't know why.
Might be given.
Depends what outfit she's wearing.
Might be sending Mama a lettuce visor then.
Hell yeah.
She's not very good.
But the whole point of golf, the grind of 18 holes, is what makes golf special and crazy and incredibly difficult. So just this idea that you go out for 9 holes, hold it together, and post something that counts towards your handicap feels just inconsistent, to say the least, about it. So anyway,
yeah. Well, golf, it's all you grow in the game, right? Yeah, they try. I understand. I'm not just trying to be. It's easy from the armchair quarterbacking saying everything that's wrong, and I get it. They went to an app. Okay, it was the 21st century. Okay, we don't want you to have to post through a club and have a score and all that stuff, because then it's just private clubs or really high end public. You're trying to get more people engaged. It's a money grab for the USGA, everyone paying their $40-$50 a year, and they're trying to get more engagement. But also then I go back to, then we maybe need to go back to Goldie's point of, we need to stop taking it so literally, because you've opened up Pandora's box. Not that there wasn't sandbaggers before, but this goes into another question we had. Street justice in golf. I think there was a little bit more of that when it was more just private club handicaps, because and people would get called out, and there was a little bit more, we're going to take care of business at our club. But I did get a question. Let me find it here. It said, This is bad podcasting. I'm not going to edit it out, but yeah, it said, could golf introduce some street level punishment as a fix to help some of the sandbagging? I don't know exactly
That's
know what that means, but
that's what Yip's doing.
yeah, but that I was going to say that's pretty much describing, you're publicly shaming them.
Before Yip gets, yeah, I mean, it's the gentleman's game. This is amateur world. These are just people going out and having fun. The only counter to the gentleman's game is calling people out through massive shaming.
Yeah.
However we can get that done. I mean, this is like going on Yip's channel. It's like going through the walk of shame on Game of Thrones. So it's what it should feel like.
Shame.
That's what it should feel
that
like.
would be. Do you got a Hall of Shame? If not,
It's something I've thought about. I got a lot of room for. I could just have like little pictures of guys and just keep adding up the.
That fish is
nice
making me
idea.
nervous. By the way, does that come to life and start talking?
It does not. No,
that's for nighttime podcast.
That's just a 11.3 pound largemouth. I hear it's pretty big.
No, it's not a big deal. Good for you.
I hear most people haven't caught double digit largemouths.
Dang. Yeah, we're actually pivoting into a fishing pod soon, so we'll bring you back on for that segment.
As far as street justice going too, and like discussing a little bit about me, calling people out, and do people ever get angry at me and try to? I mean, at the end of the day, the last thing I'm really concerned about is some rich white dude at a prestigious private golfing club coming at me, because that is a large majority of who I'm typically shaming. I've been asked before, like, is there like a certain type of person or like race? Yeah, whites are typically the ones that I get to call out the most. I'm not, and the thing is like, I feel like if they show up and they pop up, and if I got them, what can they get mad about? I mean, they did it. They know what they did, right? Like and I'm typically very clear about whether or not I think the person is like manipulating their handicap, or, I get all these tips like about, a certain guy that just so happens to be winning a plethora of events in a short amount of time. And sometimes, like, look, I don't have anything. There's no, I don't have real evidence. So I'll still do a video. I'll make fun of the guy a little bit and, at the end, clear him. But if someone gets so butthurt because they manipulated their handicap and got caught, I mean, I just think it's on them.
Have you received a cease and desist yet?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Hell yeah, brother.
So these gentlemen are taking this very seriously.
Some do.
Yes. And in 2024, before I really had any type of following whatsoever, and I kind of started doing this, I was the initial reactions would be a little more vulgar and aggressive, and they would threaten me. And then, I mean, as I've grown, and now, I mean, based on my following on X, I have somewhere around 300 attorneys at my disposal at any time, pro bono work. The last time I had, they're all just like, "Yep, pro bono, we got you. We're going to destroy this guy." So
that's amazing.
I do have to be careful. I am a fake independent journalist. I try to make sure, like I said earlier, about the facts. And if I have an opinion, I let it know, like, this is my opinion. I'm allowed to have those.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to start.
So far, nothing too serious yet.
Checking those legal boxes. What about Atonement? So you launched your own like YouTube podcast, right? Here recently. And you're bringing on some of the rats that you've called out.
Yeah, that's
how's that going?
Well, I'm just in the early, and it is the off season, right? I just kind of got all my ducks in a row to start this up for 2026. I will say, like, coming onto a professional podcast like your own that, we're meeting at 11 a.m. my time. This is like a very rare thing where I'm doing a podcast sober. To put in like perspective, I'm recording the Yip Strickler Experience episode number 5 tonight, and it'll be kicking off at like 9 p.m. tonight. Right. So much different. But yeah, I want to have these guys on if they want to defend themselves. Basically, anyone that I call out in a video, hop on. That's a cool tonight. Tonight is a special. Tonight is a special one. This is a gentleman that's appeared in one of my videos, and I don't know if he knows it yet, but he is the winner of a Yippee in the category of net golfer of the year. And we're gonna have some questions. It should be fun.
Wow, man. Is it weird though when like you're confronting them directly, even though it's still, you have a barrier because it's behind a screen, but it's because like you're cooking, you're doing a 10-minute cut and you edit it to 3 minutes and it's spicy and it's this, but then it's a human being, right? Like it's confrontation. It's like anything else, human people that train you in human resources say, well, this is how you handle the situation with the employee, and you sit them down. And it sounds good till you're across the table from another human and you're like, oh, they got their own shit. And it's that. So is it weird at all?
Well, I've ran a business for like the last 25 years, and I am the HR department. I am everything. I would never survive in corporate America with an actual human resources person by any means, because I love confrontation, and I will, I'll come at you. Like if you're being an idiot, I'm going to let you know that you're being an idiot and you need to stop doing these things. I don't, so far, I mean, no, it's the conversations I think have just been pretty fun. As far as, I had these two guys on, the winners of the Barstool Classic, for my first one ever. And I mean, to be honest, I almost started falling in love with this Tommy Padgett guy, even though he's 1,000% a sandbagging rat, like one of the worst like I've ever seen. And during our interview, he even said, well, what am I going to do? Go to the computer and post 200 scores every year? He posted 3 last year. And he's assuming he played around 200 to give you an idea. But, I'm sitting down talking to this guy and hearing his stories, and like, God, I'm almost just like, man, this is one of my favorite sandbagging rats around.
But you know what you say that's actually really interesting? It's Tommy Padgett, right? He said, so Tommy here is saying like, look, I get it. I'm a degenerate golfer. I'm playing 3 rounds of golf, 4 rounds of golf a week. And I'm not going, I don't give a shit about putting my scores in. And what's funny to Aaron, what you're talking about, the degens that play down in Georgia, because Aaron, so Mr. Golfberg thinks I'm a degenerate because I play about once a week, and he doesn't get that luxury. But I'm like, yeah, the guys I'm playing against they're all 3-4 time a week guys, and almost none of them put in scores. And I don't think for most of them, it isn't really a conscious, like there's a few that are trying to consciously bag, but it's just like, yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm just not fucking putting my scores in. So that is a weird kind of close to legitimate counter argument of like, well, they put it on me now. I got to get an app. I don't give a shit. I'm just playing my games. But then again, it does impact if we're taking your handicap literally.
See, that is where it all changed. You just alluded to it, because everyone does it themselves now. And it used to be done by the clubs and the golf courses. And I just remember growing up watching my dad do this. He had the same guys he golfed with. They had 2 games a week. It was Tuesday morning. They had a Saturday afternoon thing. Every score they ever played together was submitted. Yeah. And my dad literally would have fired his friends. If they would have been like, I just played for 3 weeks and didn't submit scores, he'd be like, fuck off. We're not golf. Yeah. We're definitely not betting. Because it was so much, even though he's the same guy who told me to submit scores.
Yeah.
Now that was late.
Then he's telling you to pump those numbers up a little bit.
Here's the problem. He was like, I'd be like, I'm a 2 handicap. Like, no, you're not. You're like a 6. So in his head, he had like a problem forever. Now he believes it.
Vibe-based handicap system.
Right. He's
it's
more
like,
of a, yeah.
Anyway. And that's the people that haven't, I didn't start playing golf until I joined a club. Like I basically 2011, I joined this place. I started playing golf. And you quickly realize when you're talking about golf degenerates, and that's the thing, like I see all these cases and I'm like, okay, this guy I know for sure this guy, whatever club he's at, is spending $50,000 a year to be a member there. And you're telling me he only played golf 12 times all year. Like, it's like, okay, yeah. I find it hard to believe. And obviously then you start talking to people and like, oh yeah, he plays 3 times a week. It's amazing how many guys play 3 rounds of golf every single week.
Yeah.
No, I'm very jealous.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's where like these tournaments, I guess it's hard. So take that guy and he's traveling to an event 90 miles away. It's probably hard to know from a tournament committee perspective that he's playing, unless there's just an anecdote, but hard to guarantee he's playing 3 times, a week. But that's where I go into these like red flag, yellow flag. Like the red flag should just be the non-starters. Like the batch posting of scores that are above your current index. It just be like, sorry guys, it's a red flag, can't play. But the yellow flag should be you're putting in very, very few scores, or you have these big gaps, and maybe there's some questions and investigating that needs to go into that.
We just opened up the world to people being able to manage their own handicaps. It's cheating city, man. There's no way around it.
Yeah, it's
which that's goes, why I'm going to be in fake business forever.
No shit.
I'm going to be able to do this to the day I die. I'm going to hand this company's going right down to my son Skip when I'm all done. I mean, this is going to go forever.
Yeah, Skip, that's what we're doing. We're giving it to the kids, but I don't know if I trust our kids to take this on. It's a lot of tedious work. I don't know if that they're going to be able to handle it. Actually, I don't want to dox anything, but Mr. Golfberg has a cute video of his son asking him, "What was it? Would you rather?" It was like take over plug or get it was
he was gonna get. I offered him he could either have 5% of the company or a brand new lab putter, and he chose the putter.
But he said because it sounds like a lot of work to do to run the plug. Let me just get the putter. And I was like, okay, I get it. Maybe
these kids are smart. For sure.
All right, so we're getting it. We're jumping.
Can I random topic? Please we're talking a lot about sandbaggers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious because it's not as consequential from winning tournaments, but the opposite, the vanity caps.
Yeah,
and it made me think of a guy like Riggs. You're dealing with the foreplay guys. He's foreplay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm tripping. It's early. Sorry. So he gets a ton of shit because he claims to be a 4 handicap. His swing looks like garbage.
Yeah.
His putting annoys me more than anything. But Goldie's met him. Goldie's played with him. He's like, it's kind of sneaky, man. Like he can get around a course. We've all played with plenty of golfers that look like that. It's hard to believe his game travels as well as it does. But anyway, I mean, there's lots of golfers not submitting scores because they just like their 3.5 and they don't want to inch up to a 5.7. What's our take on that? Maybe we don't care as much.
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't care about a vanity cap unless I get partnered with them, which I will make sure never happens.
Right.
As far as Riggs goes, like, I mean, his game, like I think he won like every single one of his like hater matches this year.
He did.
He had on, and obviously, you got guys coming from wherever to play golf with him, and they're not accustomed to a video crew coming around and camera. It's different. It's very different. I played in a couple last year on camera, and I stink at golf too. I know I'm a 5.4, but like my swing is trash. I hit it all over the place. I just, I try to get up and down as,
That's
the
the secret.
Yeah,
everybody sucks at golf. That's the secret.
Yeah. And, as far as Vanity, Riggs, he is that swing is, and I understand watching him putt. He was doing something putting left-handed. I saw a couple weeks ago. I was like, I can at least stomach to watch that one.
Yeah.
But they go in, and it's because golf is this crazy game where everybody has their own swing. I didn't have any like golf coaches. I didn't grow up playing this game. I was a baseball player. I got this awful chicken wing that comes up. I feel like I use my hands are a big thing I feel like I'm manipulating the club to make the ball go this way and that way.
It's very Tiger-esque of you.
I'm an athlete. But I don't know how to play golf the right way. Like I get the ball around the course and that's the thing is you play with guys that you're like, oh man, this guy's a 4 handicap. And you're like, this guy's swing stinks. And then all of a sudden you get done and he's like, oh, he shot 74 today. Oh yeah. It's real quiet. And they just,
it's all
you got a good short game. He plays so much. Riggs, his game travels so well because he plays everywhere.
Yeah, that's what and he put in his defense, he's the champion for again. USGA should probably pay him $1 million a year because he's literally putting in every single time he plays golf.
Well, let's try to get the USGA to give me like 10 G's first before we're gonna start giving $1 million to Riggs.
I do have
USGA should be giving you that would be if you were running the let me do this for a pod maybe promo. If I'm the USGA, we always break the fourth wall here. So pod promo time cut. If I'm the USGA, I'm reaching out to Yip and I'm actually putting him on staff of like not only educating what to look for. There's an entertainment piece. I can dispatch him to events. I mean, for Yip, for you, I would command. I would be. It's like you're almost in like the Bryson levels of negotiation with Liv. I think I posted he should ask for $1 billion and 10,000 barrels of oil a day for the rest of his life to stay with Liv. You're almost at that level of negotiation right now again, because you're like, I'm going to make this system come crashing down if you guys don't help address some of these rats. And
I'm not gonna pressure the USGA that way. I'm gonna, I will say I don't know if anyone saw on Christmas, I had a very big announcement. I announced my Yippee for Lifetime Achievement Award, and I would like to just mention one more time, congratulations, Andy, Courtney, Michael, Brian, David, Leslie, Jim, Kathy, Sinclair, Virginia, David, Diane, Andrew, Kevin, and Fred, the 15 USGA Executive Committee members. Congratulations on winning the Lifetime Achievement Award. It's an honor that no one can ever take away from you. And yes, I agree with what you were saying in the beginning, Gold. The USGA should give me some money. I don't know if that's why I, gave them this prestigious award or not, but I agree with you. We would be great partners.
They would be fantastic partners. I don't blame you at all. Man, God, there's just so many freaking anecdotes and stories that I could keep going through. So, okay, what about the it's another handicap slap, but when we went to 8 out of 20 scores, and that's another thing of like, why it's just another thing to make people feel better, because you're in like magically overnight, everybody's indexes just dropped a point. I think that exacerbates the problem of time and duration in between posting rounds. It's another thing of like, why do we have to complicate it so much? Why isn't that just like, I get it. They have a formula that there's variance and based on the skill level, the highs and the lows, but it's just another pain point for me of why the handicap system kind of stinks.
Well, I mean, that obviously when you you speak derogatory terms about the handicap system, that does cut me to the core a little bit. I'm not real happy that you just said that. However, I will say the 8 scores, I think that the whole point of this is it's supposed to be, your potential.
Right.
And I think it gets you more towards your greatest potential and less towards your average, which, people think because I'm a 5.4, I'm going to go shoot 78 every single
Right.
time. When in actuality, my average is, I basically feel like I shoot 81 every single time I play golf. But
right.
See, that's the problem with the fucking handicaps. What if it was just the opposite? What if it was like where it tried to give you the higher average of your potential? This is like, when I'm kind of playing crappier, not as good. And then you show up and like, I'm an 8, but I just shot a 76 today. You can actually feel good about yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's the feel good system. Maybe we should roll that out. The feel good, the Bizarro, the Bizarro again.
Nope. I think we need to stick with what we have going. We just have to figure out a way to make sure that everyone posts their actual scores. I mean, it's not that hard. We adjust the gross score. If you don't know how to adjust your gross score before entering into the system, just go hole by hole. It'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Maybe
I hate it because we always give such good ideas out for free, but USGA should maybe consider like actually developing services through the GIN app for like every club has multiple men's groups. Most are being ran on a spreadsheet. Like the one I have, guys have been running it for 20 years. It was built in an Access database and now it's Excel based, and at least the output is in Excel. Like maybe they should develop like a user interface where you can register your men's groups directly through it to be able to auto click that button to auto post all of those scores. Again, it doesn't fix everything, but I think that would be a pretty value added feature. I guess that you could argue they could use Golf Genius or this, but I mean, just trying to give tools to clubs and go market and put it out there of like, hey, you probably got 10 men's groups. Like as a club, USGA club, for a men's group, you have to use this, like maybe, or, whatever the marketing needs to be. But that's, I think, an interesting way of doing it because we know that those scores aren't getting posted because of the same stuff. Oh, we're doing double bogey scoop. So I blew the net game. So I'm just in it for skins today. Well, I think there's a way to, you've heard that a lot. That's everybody in my group. You're 3 over through 4 of, I'm just playing skins today. So just double me out. I'm like, what there's 13 holes left, guys. That doesn't really help anybody. So yeah, I think there's just some creative tools they can maybe have to at least show good faith effort. Aaron, you don't like it?
there's just still so much cheating. It's like, it would be amazing. I don't know how they would figure this out, but somehow they have these sanctioned events, and they're not really tournaments. They're just check-in moments where 4 times a year you have to show up somewhere, and the course, you can mentally prepare for it, whatever, but you just have to go shoot an official round of golf, and they're keeping track of it, and like that gets posted. And then like you have this collection of like real rounds at a real place where the real rules were being followed. You had tournament accountability in a sense, because that's where people's true colors really come out anyway. And now you kind of have this grade, and that's the grade you get to use to go bet with and kind of be part of bigger tournaments with. I mean, in small tournaments, who gives a shit? But like you said, Yip, you're talking about these tournaments, there's hundreds of people and there's thousands of dollars on the line. It's like, and you let these assholes just come in and steal the money.
Yeah.
It would be kind of, I don't think it's about people. I'm now just entering stuff in a better, it's almost like I like the idea I just came up with. Anyway, we can talk about it.
I think they tried to do like, because they have like, you get a tournament score. The problem is when you make it to be like, it's Yip's choice whether or not he's going to put in his tournament score and select T and all that good stuff, and nobody does it. So it's like you have to remove that choice and just like.
But it's not a tournament. It's like you're a member at a club. One time a month, you have to show up and play. And like, we're just keeping track of it, and that gets posted.
Then we're getting into, last week, I think Germany's got it right. We need a golf license. We need some rules in there.
Look, also, it's like we always go towards this where we want like control over this thing. We're so big government. We think we're not. But
we're just, that's all we want. We want to control. We want to take away all decisions from people on the golf course.
I've said it before, like if Elon can figure out a way to make Neuralink a lot cheaper, and we can roll it into initiation fees at the club and pop that thing in, I mean, it's going to know what you shot, auto post.
Yeah.
I mean, that's could be 40 years from now.
But
that's about the only way that this thing will ever be perfect.
Yip's idea: connect your brain to the cloud.
Yeah, I do. It's just never going to happen, which that's why all these things, like even like you said, once a month or whatever it is, you got to have like a turn, like I'll go post it score kind of thing. And that's your betting and your tournament handicap. Obviously it's not going to happen, but so it all goes back to, we just take these fucking things too literally, and we need to be more ballparky and a little bit more Southern justice. We're just street level punishments. So, okay. I'm going to try to run through some of these other ones that we had from the Cabbage Patch, and Aaron, if you think of anything, interrupt me. But we've talked about this a lot, but is there one obvious fix you would make to the GIN? I mean, you may have hit on it already, but is there one?
I mean, mine is the 9-hole posting thing. Like if we have it set up where, okay, we're going to accept these 9-hole scores, can we at least make it that if 2 9-hole scores are posted on the same day, and it's pretty clear that the gentleman or the lady played the front 9 and then the back 9, can we just put those ones together? Like 2 9-hole scores in one day, it's infuriating to me. It's the handicap index. It's not legit. If I'm, let's say you're playing in one of these 9-hole leagues and you're a 7 and this guy's a 14, and you guys shot the same score 3 weeks in a row, why is this guy's differential significantly higher than yours? Just because, like, it just doesn't make sense. You're playing the same golf course, same day. Your differentials, whatever you shot that day, should be the same, but it's not, because it factors in your handicap index. I don't like it.
And it's not that I would even question as much like the math behind it. It's the assumption in the formula, and the assumption in the formula is that the constant of the current index is 100% above board, and we know that that's not. And when it's not, and then you're using that to predict an outcome, then your outcome, just laws of variability, is going to be that much more inaccurate. So I didn't even get to put on my Professor Goldie hat for that one, but that's just facts, And
I will be stopping by the USGA booth next week at the PGA show to let them know once again what I think about their little 9-hole score thing.
So do you, like, this isn't even a joke question, do they know about you? Do they? Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a big organization, but like, does the C-suite of the USGA know you're a thing and you exist and what you do?
They know. We've had some interactions on the X where they've, as you know, they do want you to pronounce it gin. I say it my way because that's the way they should have done it, to have their own unique word that doesn't exist in the world. But they've came out a few times, tagged me in some things.
But isn't
Sorry at Yip Strickler, blah blah blah.
But isn't
yeah.
that funny though? Like out of everything a corporation could be worried about, they're just worried about the pronunciation of their made up word more so than like, oh, what about the merits of like what's going on out here? And really,
I think they care more about that, but they
Okay.
did. They made sure to,
yeah,
let me know.
let you know. Hey, just pro tip, pronounce it differently. Aaron, you got anything else? I got a couple silly things, but nothing that is going to be life changing for the podcast or for Yip. And I know we're coming up near an hour window, but
no, just that sometimes you brush the stuff off. It's just kind of idiots every once in a while fighting in a tournament, but this stuff can kind of hit home sometimes. I had a couple year stretch where a brother of mine was carrying a handicap that was way too high. And every time we'd get together and play, he's taking money off me. And like we got in a fight and I was like, I'm never giving you a stroke again, ever. And it really caused some tension in our life for like a year. Cause I think I took it too seriously, but I just kept paying this guy money, even though I'm winning. And I don't know, handicaps can just be infuriating. So it's just a bad deal.
In that one, not to get into all the details, I think the root cause wasn't as like not posting scores or making up scores. I think the root cause was he was playing at a golf course that had which was easy, but a ridiculously low rating and slope that just wasn't accurate for a extremely athletic, long hitting male. And I get it. It's like, well, the rating's low, so he has to shoot low scores. But it's like, if it's rated, whatever, I don't know, like 67,
right?
And you know what I mean? It's just like, but you have some short game fundamental problems, but you hit it a mile or vice versa. That's where I just go into, I would say my pain point, the number one thing I would like to audit is how courses are rated. I just think it's, to have that, it just, even my home course, like day to day, it's so variable. And I know they're going to take into consideration scores that get posted and you think you're doing the weather and all these things, but I just, it doesn't make sense. I guess the fortunate enough part of what we've done the last couple of years is doing so much travel golf and seeing what that looks like, a rating and a slope looks like across the country. I can just come to this conclusion. I don't have the answer, but none of it is accurate. If I go to Bandon Dunes and it's rated, I'm playing it from 6,400 yards and it's rated 71.1, but it's blowing 35 miles per hour that day and there's no PCC adjustment. And I'm like, well, okay, I know it's got space off the tee, but this is a little bit different than 85 mile per hour wind down on like some, plush country club grass down where I'm at that's rated 73.5. So it's just like, again, I keep saying these anecdotes to go,
Mm-hmm.
We just take the shit too literally.
Yeah, we had when you're talking about rating courses, and I've read about how they do it, and I feel like it's obviously there's a lot of just.
I got a spreadsheet. How far is the tree from the bunker? And by the way,
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of opinions that get thrown into this, but the as far as like, coming up with the handicap holes 1 through 18, which one's the number one handicap hole? What's 2, 3, and
garbage.
Why do we even?
Well, a few years ago, we re-rated our course, and they take supposedly all these thousands of scores, and it's somewhere around like the 4 to 7 handicap range, and then they take like the 12 to 18 handicap range, and it's like whatever the biggest spread is between the lower handicaps and the high, that's the one that's going to be your number one handicap hole. And it really, it switched up a bunch of holes on our course. And I don't know when the last time was that it was rated, but now it's like, I'm giving a piece of candy to these guys. If a guy's he's getting a shot on almost every par 5, and that's where it gets tough.
It's dumb. And that's another thing. Like, that's where self-legislation of these, like in our club, we don't care. It gets re-rated and they change the holes. It's like you're not getting a pop on 18 because that's going to ruin it. If anybody wants to press, you're not going to get it on. We don't care what it says, but this par 5, you're not going to get it on this particular par 5. And we just come up with what the shot holes need to be based on the group. I know that that's hard if you don't kind of know each other a little bit, but it's like, I just don't be a scumbag. You got a new group coming out. Like, don't just, these are the shot holes.
If I didn't know some dudes and they're trying to change around shot holes, though, I'd walk away.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't trust these guys. So yeah, you really got to know them to pull that off.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's all friendly stuff, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, cool. Yeah. Anything else for the lettuce heads of the Please Let Us Golf group? Anything? Please Let Us Golf group. It's early for me too, man. And my brain's just water so far today. Anything you need to pitch? Anything else we missed? Anything going on in the world of Yip Strickler?
Man, I just I thank you guys for the opportunity. It's kind of been my off season here. Once the holidays come, the members are kind of non-existent. We're getting into January. Things are starting to percolate a little bit. I'm excited about a case I'm working on right now. It does show you that as far as AI is concerned, AI has a lot to learn about the handicap system, because I can ask Chat GPT and Grok the same exact question, and I can get some pretty outrageous answers, such as one had what this gentleman just did down in the Dominican Republic last week. I'm really excited. I think I have to do a video on this one, even though I can't find a picture of this guy. He's a ghost. They didn't post the winners. Thankfully, I did find a picture of the pro. It was a pro-am. So he's going to be my backdrop for the photo. But the odds of this happening, Chat GPT had it at 1 out of 5 million. And the other, I believe Grok had it at 1 at about 500,000. So obviously what I witnessed was impossible.
Yep.
And I can't wait.
I don't want to, you may have thought of this. Yip AI, artificial indexes. I'm just saying there's a lot of marketing potential there. So just Yip AI, artificial indexes, and that could be a whole nother lane for you of what you're going in, what you need. So
yep. And I will say, if nobody knows about the Caddy Time app, that's the only thing I'm plugging. Caddy Time. What is that? It's Uber for caddies. If you like to walk, if you've never taken a caddy before, get the app. Caddy can sign up for it too. So if you're a young man, young lady looking for some extra money in the summertime, you're in school and you start caddying and you need to get an extra loop here or there, download the app, boop, 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 sign up the player. You say, okay, I'm playing here on this day, time. You put it out. It's like a little request. And if caddies are in the area, this is a new venture. So this is, we're trying to build this thing up. So
are you involved with that? Are you sponsor spokesperson for it?
I'm a sponsor spokesperson for it right now.
Okay. So I am curious though. So is the model like they go to clubs and try to get them to okay, you have a caddy that might be able to loop at a network of clubs in a region and they're in this app?
The private club thing is, can be different because, so many clubs have their own caddy programs. They, it's kind of, they won't let the caddy time in on their things. But, there's quite a few clubs that their caddy programs have dissipated over the last 10 years. They're just kind of gone.
Right.
And there is a way for private clubs to use the app to request caddies. And there is and a lot of times the private clubs, they want all the money to themselves. I believe caddy, first off, if you're bringing more people to your club, you're going to make more money automatically. The guy's going to buy him something on the turn. Something's going to have the clubs do get a small portion, I believe, if they use it. I think it's kind of bigger on the public golf course scene right now, but there are options for private clubs to utilize it.
Cool.
Well, I'm on a mission to destroy the caddy industrial complex personally, but I'm wondering if this is a better way, because then it's if you really want one, here's a caddy who really wants to be a caddy. You link these people up. Just stop telling me what
democratization of the caddy system.
There's nothing worse than getting stuck with a caddy that doesn't want to be there.
Which it will, there's a,
or even one that wants to be there and entertain you the whole time. It's
we won't shut up.
Yeah,
won't shut up. Wants to tell you things like, "Oh, be careful, Yip. You don't want to miss that putt. I watched a guy miss that exact putt yesterday." It's like, oh well, I guarantee this thing's not going to go in the hole now. Thank you so much.
So now you go on to Caddy Time and you give him a thumbs down. I'm not going to see this.
They do have a rating system. There's certain caddies. There's different levels.
That would be. I think there's definitely it's the way everything else has gone. So I think for me, somebody who's kind of moved away from caddies at most courses because of negative experiences, I think getting something that I could be like, okay, let me tailor a personality, what I'm really looking for here, a tiering level, and then they can command a price, commensurate with that. So okay, there's some legs there. Okay, we're good with it. Caddy time. All right. Anything else, Mr. Golfberg?
No, just if you need anything, you sound like a really busy guy. You don't need more shit to uncover. But I just wonder during the winter, sim golf, people bragging about scores. Are people submitting scores from
I
simulator
get
golf?
Yeah, it's I haven't
Holy
really
shit, are you kidding? They are.
I haven't dug into it, but there's some things where like a guy will shoot a 44 for 18 holes, and that and it's first off, it's fake golf.
Yeah.
I can't. I want to bury the guys, right? I mean, but
yeah, it's okay.
There's
plenty.
only so much I can
There's
do.
only so much burying you can do. You got.
I'm trying to stick to real golf.
Okay.
Real golf. But if I
you.
see something egregious, I might put it on my story.
Might have to.
let people get a laugh. But
Well, yeah, this was fun. It was cathartic for me. I know I bring on a guest and I can't shut my mouth, but I just I got a lot of thoughts and opinions on this. It's a passionate part of golf, and I also think again, when maybe we have you down the road, we have some fun talking other maybe a scam episode that's adjacent to your primary area of expertise, and we'll chum it up again. But really appreciate.
I love it.
Yeah, really appreciate.
I'm kind of known as a podcast whore, like I said. So
yeah,
I'm always available for these podcasts. So
we got a couple really good sound bites now to just clip. No context, just 2 seconds. I'm maybe even get podcast out. I'm a whore, and I'm like, what is Yip talking about on the podcast today? But for Goldie, for Mr. Yip Strickler, let us heads. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got out of this what you wanted, and we will see you next week. And most importantly, stay plugged.
Peace.
Peace.